We have a ton of picks. All right, and so DJ, since you are I'll go second. You'll go. What's how we'll do it? Is whoever wins.
Yeah, I get to tee off
Right,
first.
you get to tee it off. I'll
Yeah.
go second because I finished second, and then Eddie will be cleaning up at the end.
Yeah,
I love it.
But do you know why Eddie's cleaning up at the end, DJ?
because he's last.
Because he's last.
Yes, yes, exactly.
All right, so
Because
DJ.
I was the oldest. I thought it's just because I was the oldest.
Okay, we can go with that.
No,
too.
that's not it.
Oh, okay. Well, you get excited about your preseason picks, okay? Because this
All
is
right.
where it matters, right here.
All right, so here's
All
what we're
right.
going to do, guys. All right, so each of you will have 5 picks, okay? 5 picks. And then we're going to have 2 different things at the end here. All right, so one of your 5 picks, or it can be your last pick, you're going to say is my hard, not hard knock, is going to be your hard lock. Okay, that's if you would just happen, if you were going to go put $1,000 on the game, by gosh, this is the game I'm going to die with. All right, and then also we're taking a money line pick. Okay, every week you got to pick an underdog that you think is going to win the game outright. So getting odds and doing that. So DJ, you're going to tee it up. Your first game, roll with me. Your first game, who you got rolling out this Saturday?
Notre Dame. I'm going with
Notre
Notre Dame over Florida State. They're at 7.5-point favorites.
Okay.
Notre Dame, played really well last year. Granted they got crushed in the playoffs, but they still covered, and they have a lot of guys back. They're a good team. Florida State hasn't had a above 500 season since 2017, and I think they're possibly getting better, but they're not the old Florida State, and they're not going to be within 7.5 points of Notre Dame. So even though this game is in Tallahassee, and Andy and I both know how wild of an environment that is, I just think Notre Dame's a much better team, and Notre Dame's going to win by 7.5 or more, and be able to put themselves in position to possibly get to the playoffs too.
I peeked at that one. I thought that half point bothered me. That half point bothered me, but I peeked at that one. I think you're onto something there. It may not be that big of a deal, but that half point scared me a little bit. So, what, Eddie? You got anything about your Seminoles this week?
Yeah, I kind of stayed away from it just for kind of that same reason you were talking about. But I think Deej is right. They just haven't been the Florida State of Florida State that when we left there, not even close. And I think they are on the right track, though.
Yeah.
I really do. Just looking at their recruiting and where they're going, and I think he'll have them there quicker than people think. But I stayed away from it. I was nervous.
I will say this though. I think DJ is going to be okay with that one. I didn't pick it, but I can be swayed on that one. All right, my first one going second, because we should be having paper rock scissors to go first, but the commissioner hasn't got back to me on a ruling yet. But going second. Second this week. I'm really liking, and we'll get to the rest of my picks, but it's a big underdog week for me. I like the dogs this week. I like the underdogs. And so I'm starting off with an underdog, kicking it off in a top 25 matchup. Penn State is on the road against Wisconsin. They are getting 4.5 points. I'm taking Penn State plus 4.5. I'm not saying Wisconsin doesn't beat them. I just don't think, like, Wisconsin, they haven't changed offenses since 1906. Okay, they've changed personnel, but they haven't changed offenses. And Penn State, look, James Franklin can coach football now, and he can recruit. What he did at Vanderbilt, there should be a statue outside the College Football Hall of Fame for what he did at Vanderbilt. And, he's recruiting well. I know they struggled early in the year last year, but they came back. I think he'd go into Camp Randall, and they may lose the game, but I don't think they lose by a touchdown. I think they get it done and keep it close enough to where they cover. So I like Penn State 4.5.
I tell you
I
what.
like that pick.
Go ahead, Eddie.
I was just going to say I do. I like that pick. I think Coach Franklin's going to have them. They were embarrassed how they started out last year. They really were, and I think they'll have them rolling. And I think that's a heck of a pick right there.
They started out, lost the first 4, but then they won 5 in a row, and arguably some people thought they were one of the best teams in the country the way they were playing by the end of the year at Penn State. And so I understand your pick there. I think that Penn State is going to be a lot better, and I think that they are going to give Wisconsin everything they ever wanted in this first game. But it's at Camp Randall. 4.5 is interesting because it may be a 3-point win, but I would still have to give the edge to Wisconsin. But I wouldn't say that's a bad pick because I think Penn State is going to be a really good team this year.
I think if Penn State can score 17 points, I win this bet. That's what I'm being dead serious. I think I don't see Wisconsin scoring more than 21 points against Air.
Yeah.
It'd take them 10 minutes and 30 seconds on a 80-yard drive against Air. I mean, they can't help themselves.
I think that's a fair statement, but the issue is not a lot of teams get 17 points on Wisconsin. But I think that's a fair statement.
It's true.
You know what I mean? I think that's a fair statement.
I do, but I'm looking for 7. I'm saying 17 points. I can get 17 points. I'll probably be sending you my Sylvester Stallone gift, Saturday when it's like they scored 7, like Hawaii did me, DJ, Saturday. But anyway, I will never let you forget that one, DJ. All right, so Eddie, game 1. Eddie, game 1. Pick one for the real week. Now this counts, Eddie. This is week 1. It counts. Who you going with?
Sam Pittman, baby. Arkansas Razorbacks. I am not going with the underdog. I'm going with a minus 19.5 versus Rice. And you know what? I got to watch so much of him last year, and I think that team will be they'll be spitting hog bubbles. They will be ready to roll. I love the way he has those guys playing the game. They play the game like it's supposed to be played. They play hard. They play fast. And I don't think Rice can hang with Arkansas.
Hey, on a side note, what's a hog bubble?
Well, you heard of a hog, squeal and snort, right? They're slopping around and they got stuff coming out all over their face. Or when you shoot them, sometimes that hog bubbles start coming out. Especially if you get a good lung shot.
Hey, this segment brought to you by PETA.
Gotta eat.
That's
eat,
right.
Man. It's about harvesting.
That's right. You harvested that hog.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's it. You use everything. All right, DJ, we're going back to the well. I don't think anybody's going to argue with you about Arkansas and Rice, but going back to the well, game pick 2. Who are we going with, DJ?
I'm going with Ole Miss over Louisville. They're 10-point favorites, and I think they're going to win by more than 10. Louisville lost 6 games in a row last year to finish 4-7, and Ole Miss was really hot, and I think they're going to stay hot. I think that this is going to be a high-scoring game. I think that both defenses are going to struggle, but I think that Ole Miss is going to win this thing by more than 10, and I think that Louisville is going to have a hard time stopping them on offense.
They better beat them by 10, because if they don't, it's going to be a long, long year. And my surprise team and my upcoming team, Ole Miss, just gets all shot down.
This is going to be a great debate right here because I have also picked this game. Except I'm taking Louisville plus 10 points against Ole Miss.
Whoa.
Wow. I hope that people don't have your address there in Oxford.
I'm not saying Ole Miss is going to lose the game. Just 10 points to me is like let's talk about the game within the game, okay? Scott Satterfield, the head coach of Louisville, okay? I've coached this guy a long time. He has a running play that we've talked about for 1,000 times on here. It's basically lead stretch, lead outside zone, okay? It's their bread and butter. What was Ole Miss's detriment on defense? Stopping outside zone last year, okay? You're going to know within the first 30 minutes of this game, if you're an Ole Miss fan and you're listening to this, you're going to know by halftime if you're going to be a good football team or not. Because you're going to score points, okay? Ole Miss will score points, period. You can chalk it up, okay? You're going to know by halftime how the defense is playing, because it's coming. They know it's coming. Louisville's running it. So we've had 8 months to prepare for outside zone. So we're going to see if that's fixed. And if it's not fixed, it's going to be a long season for the Rebels. I'm talking about in 30 minutes, you're going to know if you're going to have a legit shot to be that surprise team, or you're going to be staring 6-6, 7-5 in the face. Because there's been, like you talked about DJ earlier, there's been a whole year to prepare for all this stuff, right?
Uh-huh.
So to me, I'm not saying Ole Miss is going. I think Ole Miss wins the game, but 10 points, I can see this being like them being up two touchdowns or something late in the game, and Louisville stick one in. It just, I mean, to cover 10. 10 is just a big number to me. And as far as the over goes, they're projecting some points now. They're saying it's 75.5. I almost went 75.5. I would always pick the over. It was really good to me last year with Ole Miss. Here's what I'm worried about. I think now that you got Ole Miss on film and you see what they do on offense, Satterfield knows that he can run the football and he can run outside zone. I think they try to shorten the game up, and try to burn some clock and play action boots, high percentage passes, keep the clock running outside zone. And if they can keep the defense, because Lane doesn't care. Lane's just going. I mean, he may score in like the second play. Like he's just going to keep. He may try to set an NCAA record for scoring the most touchdowns in the fewest plays. Like the time of possession stuff is not even in the. We're not even thinking about that. So I can see it being, like I said. I think Louisville keeps it within 10. I don't think it. I mean, it may be a late squeaker. I don't know. I don't know. It's just my gut.
I'll be shocked if Ole Miss isn't better on defense.
You will know.
I know you say Lane doesn't care.
I would be. I think you're going to know. Like I don't even have to watch this game in the second half. I mean, you can turn off in halftime and know if you're going to win the bet or not.
I would say that the same play that you're concerned about Ole Miss stopping should be the same play that Louisville should be concerned about stopping, because Louisville struggled on defending that play too on defense.
Yeah.
And so what I mean. So this may be an outside zone game. You know what I mean? This might just turn into outside zone, and if so, maybe your prediction is accurate. But it's going to come down to me to players, and I don't think that Louisville is at the point where they have the talent that Ole Miss has. And
to keep it within 10 now, not to win the game.
I know, to keep it within 10. I just don't think they do. The game's at Ole Miss. I mean, it's just...
It's in Atlanta.
It's at Ole Miss, okay? How many Ole Miss fans do you think are going to be at that Atlanta game?
Oh, it'll be packed. I think they do a good. They're excited, and it's a big game, and Eddie knows this because this is where we're unique right here. Yes. Eddie, so you and I should be the Ole Miss experts. We can actually be experts inside the conference. This place is different now, okay, and it's a very fanatic fan base.
Fan. I know what you meant.
Here's what I've been saying. Like, he's a victim of his own success because they don't wait long around here. Okay, he had success on offense. By gosh, they wanted to win the freaking playoff this year. Like, there's fans. I mean, there's a very high expectation, and they offensively, are they good enough to do that? Yeah, they're good. They're really good on offense. There is not you will not ever. I mean, they can. And Lane and Levy can call the game as good as I've ever seen. They're good. Okay? But you got, there's massive. I mean, they averaged 40 points a game last year giving up on defense. There has to be, just show me a little bit. They don't even have to be in order to get to where they want to get, they don't even have to be a great defense. Just be an average defense. Just be average. And they're going to win a ton of games. And
that's fair.
But the deal is it's a lot of pressure now because if you go and how about I'm going to ask this to my other Ole Miss expert, Eddie Gran. What's the Ole Miss? All right, I'm going to stick the microphone up to your face on the camera. What is the Ole Miss fan base going to be like if Ole Miss goes to Atlanta on Monday and loses the game to Louisville?
It ain't going to be a very good Sunday and Monday, and Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. The next one, they'll be pissed off. It's exactly what you said. They have high expectations. But you know what? Their head coach loves that. He freaking loves it. And
the master
bring it on.
Yeah,
bring it on.
I love how he always
that's what he thrives. He thrives in that.
he loves that rat poison thing. That gave him. He loves it. He's the brand. Let me tell you what. Hey, Lane Kiffin is like the Jake Paul of college football. I mean, you love him or you hate him, and he brands the hell out of it. He sells you. You're watching. You're tuning in. Good for him. He's branded. You can't hate the game. So good for him. But it's going to be, as I said, referring to what I was telling you, DJ. My man Dan Werner had it great. The best thing of all time. So the first year that we got back first year we got here in like 12 or whatever, we went 6-6. He goes, man, that's perfect. He says, now here's what we need to do. We need to go 7-5 next year, and then like 8-4, and then like 9-3. Because the second you hit that, you get to where you start going to Sugar Bowl.
8, 9, 10.
Yeah, hey,
that's the expectation now.
It is like, I mean, it's gangbusters around here, and it's very frustrating. It's like gangbusters. It's like having won a national championship since 1960. But by God, you better win it this year. You know, it's a lot of pressure. So. Interested to see that game. We'll go on. One of us is going to be right. One of us is going to be wrong. So we're not going perfect. Something's going down right there. So that'll be a good one. All right, Eddie. We'll jump over to you. Your second game. Who you got?
Offense. USC Trojans -14 against San Jose. Too many weapons at USC. Way too many weapons. And there will be a statement made. And I believe that one right there, well, I'll give you, that's my lockdown, okay, right there.
Oh,
I changed it right in midstream.
Wow. I mean,
that is it.
Hey,
that's my lockdown, hard lock.
Eddie, there's always the plan, and then there's always the gut. And sometimes you just got to go with the gut. You know what I mean? And you're right in the middle of the game. You switched. You got off the game plan, and now you're going with your gut, man.
I did.
Huh?
You got so excited that your computer sounds like it's about to take off.
Yes.
I know.
I mean, you have an excellent air conditioner
right now with my computer. It's a little hot today.
Yes.
Hey, you got it fired up. You got the bees inside the computer fired up. They're ready to take off. Hard lock. Raquel, I know Raquel's listening.
Now the game's actually 17 now, Eddie. Did you know that? USC's at 17. Does that change your hard?
Make it high enough, okay?
Does that change your hard
can't
lock?
Make it high enough. Mine's 14, okay?
Okay.
But they can't make it high enough.
He's just messing with it. Hard lock.
Put it at 24.
Ooh.
Put it at 24.
I like it. All right, DJ, we're going back to you. Pick 3. Who you got? Game 3. Who you going with?
Game 3, I'm going Boise State will be within 5 of Central Florida on Thursday night. Now the game's being played in Central Florida. Both of them have new head coaches, right? You got Gus Malzahn, you got Andy Avalos. All right,
Yep.
Central Florida is coming off their worst season, I think, since 2016 last year, and I think that that Boise always plays well against non-conference opponents. I think they're going to play great defense. Andy was the defensive coordinator at Oregon with Mario before he came back to his alma mater at Boise State, and I think that they'll be within 5 in this game.
The humidity scared me in that game.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. It's a late game, though. I mean, game's at 6, but it'll still be humid in Orlando. We know that.
Yeah, I'm interested.
It'll only be 86.
Yeah.
Not 89.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm as a fan. That's a game I'm tuning into as a fan, regardless. I want to see how it turns out on those guys. All right, my third game is probably the least talked about best game of the week. And I'm talking about, like, I literally saw a promo by the Big Ten Network the other day, and they don't even list the game as it being a game. And what is it? It's a top 20 matchup in their own conference. Indiana on the road at Iowa. I'm taking the Indiana Hoosiers plus 3.5 against Iowa. All right, so if you didn't listen to me last year, and this is you're tuning in to home visit, and you didn't listen to me on Rich Rod's podcast last year, this is what I do. I take Indiana every single week. I ride them like Zorro because they were undefeated against the spread last year until the bowl game. But I'm riding them like Zorro every week. They're plus 3.5. Look, I think they got something, all kidding aside. I think they got something going special there. I think this is going to be a close game. Goes either way. It's a one-score game either way. I just think it stays within 3 because, you know what? I'm riding Indiana because I'm riding them like Zorro. Indiana plus 3.5 on the road against Iowa.
I love the pick. I do. I love them. We talked about it last week.
I love Indiana. I love those coaches. I love Coach Allen. I think he represents everything that we're fond of as college football coaches. But Iowa's a good team, guys. I'm telling you, Iowa lost only 2 games last year for a combined amount of points of 5 points. You know what I mean?
And a lot of guys back.
And they got a lot of guys back. And you talked about Illinois beating you up. I mean, Iowa they'll throw you out of the club. They'll row you out of the club. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, they will pound you. Okay, they will pound you to death. Okay, and Indiana's got a new D coordinator. I think he's great, but I mean, this is a unique style of football over there with the 22, the play action, the big people, the ball control offense. I just think that Iowa's going to win this one by 3 or more. So
yeah, regardless of what the spread is, I don't even look. I just take Indiana. I don't even look. That's what I did last year, and I was crazy. Like everybody thought I was nuts. I took a money line against Wisconsin, Penn State, and Michigan back to back weeks last year, and so I just take I don't even listen to the craziness. I just see no evil, and just go with it. I just ride with them. It's kind of like Marshall was like that too last year. So just ride with them. All right, Eddie, who we got? Pick 3. Who we got?
I've got Baylor minus 13.5 versus Texas State. Another one. I don't think they can make it high enough. Jeff Grimes over there, offensive coordinator. I think he did a fantastic job at BYU. Coach Aranda, I think Baylor will be a much improved team, and I think they'll just out-athlete them. And I think at the end, I think they will pull away. Maybe tight at the beginning, but I think they pull away at the end.
Yeah, my man Jake Peeler's over at Texas State. Go get him, but I'm not betting on this game.
I think it's a good pick, Eddie. I think you're in the right spot there, and all the things that you said are accurate.
All right, DJ, pick 4. Who we rolling with?
All right, pick 4 for me is Texas Tech at Houston, but they're playing at Reliant, and I promise you there'll be more Texas Tech fans than Houston fans there, okay? And Texas Tech's favored by 1.5, and I think they're going to win by more than 1.5. They've got a new offensive coordinator, Sonny Cumbie's coming over from TCU. He's going back to his alma mater. I think that they're going to play good defense. They had some great transfers that they signed this year, and I think they'll be ready for this game. Houston struggled last year. They're not the same Houston that they've been in the past, and I think Texas Tech is going to win this game by more than 1.5 points.
Okay. Yeah, I'm interested to see this game. I will want to watch it, being at Reliant Stadium and all that stuff. I think it's be interesting. I'm with you on that one. We played Texas Tech there a couple of years ago, so I've been there. Great place. So, all right, my 4th pick, which y'all thought I was insane. I'm going with the Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns plus 9 against Texas.
Whoa!
I think that's
All right.
dangerous.
Look,
Man,
I think that's
Billy's
dangerous.
I'll tell you why. You don't have to pick it. That's the greatest thing about
Yes.
this thing. Is Billy has a phenomenal team. He's got almost everyone back. The same guys that were back last year, he's had the same group of guys. This quarterback is like 87 years old. This guy has played quarterback for so long that, he's got kids that are recruits right now. I mean, this quarterback's been there forever. All right? Their offensive line is unbelievable. And they're not scared, okay? They are not. This is not like, hey, man, I'm going to go in there. This same group, just to remind everybody, this same group rolled up to Ames last year and beat Iowa State in the first week too. Okay, the number 17th ranked team in the country. Okay, they're not scared. They're good. I think Billy and that group, they got the New Year's Six on their mind. They want to be the best Group of 5 school in the country, and I think they're out to make a statement. Do they win the game? I just think they keep it an inside 9. I think it's going to be a close game. I think Billy is an extremely smart ball coach. I think they keep it close. I think there's a lot of familiarity there. I think they're going to be able to get information on each other based on their recent past. I'm sure Nick's answering phone calls from Sark and from Billy. I think I would love to be. I wonder how that's going. So, but I just think it's close, man. I think those kids are ready to play. I think it's a 9-point game. I'm taking it.
I tell you what, that win in Ames last year is a skewed statistic because every team in the Sun Belt went through spring ball, went through summer workouts, and went through two-a-days. And every team in the Big 12 did not. And if you remember, in that week one, there were 3 Big 12 teams that lost to 3 Sun Belt teams in week one.
Kansas State?
Yeah, Kansas State.
Arkansas
and then,
Gate.
Yep. And then I was unfortunately a part of one. We lost to Coastal Carolina. And Coastal Carolina was a real deal. I'll tell you that right now.
Good.
But anyway, that was a skewed statistic. And I think if Iowa State had played Louisiana Lafayette at the end of the season, it would have been a different outcome because they were able to practice, they were able to meet, they were able to get better. And that's where COVID is kind of, putting a wrench in some of these predictions. I find it hard to believe, though, that Texas is not going to beat the University of Louisiana Lafayette at home by more than 8 points in Sark's debut. And I'll tell you another interesting scenario or characteristic that we're not talking about is Peter Kilowinski, the defense coordinator at Texas, who has been the defense coordinator at Washington for a long time. They have played excellent defense at Washington for a long time. He was a defensive coordinator there, and he was DC for 4 or 5 years, and then Jimmy Lake was getting offered all these secondary jobs across the country. So he says, "Hey, I'll tell you what, I'll be the D-line coach, you be the DC, and we'll be able to keep you." And so he takes a back seat, okay, and does that so that Jimmy Lake can stay on, and then Jimmy Lake becomes the head coach. Jimmy Lake puts him back as the DC. I mean, this guy is really, really good, and he's played really good defense. And I think that it's going to be tough for Louisiana Lafayette to get within 8 points at the University of Texas in Austin.
Agree.
Well, y'all could have, if y'all were so certain, y'all could have picked them.
I just said I agree.
Yeah.
It's a little bit hairy, but I think Sark. I think Sark is one of those guys like Lane. He's one of the best.
No, I agree. I'm rolling with my guys this week. So we'll see.
Right.
Hey, we will all see on. I will be dead last. Apparently, with these picks, I'm either going to be dead last or first. So one or the other. So I'm either going to be eating crow next week or I'm going to be gloating. I don't know which one's which.
I think that's fair for all of us because we don't have many picks that are the same.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, it's crazy.
All right, Eddie, let's roll with it. Your fourth pick.
I hate to say this, I'm going opposite of you this week. You've got a bunch of the underdogs, and I've got the Florida Gators minus 23.5 against the Florida Atlantic Owls.
Yeah, you're on team offense this week. You're over. I mean, like you don't even have it. All your spreads are double digits.
That's correct, and that's what an offensive guy does. And I think Dan Mullen, I think they will have a hard time tackling that quarterback of Florida's, and I think he'll be better than what you think. He'll have a great game plan for him, and I think that one's just going to be out of control. And I hate it because I think Mike does a great job. It's going to be his first gig there as the defensive coordinator, and that's a tough one to start.
Yeah, there's some tough. Tough. I mean, it is what it is. When you're at the Group of 5 schools, early in the season, you better buckle up and be ready to go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, DJ, your last straight up pick before we get to the money line. What is your last straight up pick for the week number 1?
My last straight up pick is Duke versus Charlotte. Duke is getting 6.5, and I think Duke's going to win by more than 6.5. Duke's coming off a 1-9 season, playing almost an exclusively ACC season, and Charlotte's coming off a 2-4 season. Okay, and I think that Cutcliffe has been a winner for years. Last year was it was uncommon for him. You know what I mean? I'm sure that he's turned it up a notch, and I think that he's probably prepared for this game for a long time. And I would find it hard to believe that they don't beat Charlotte by more than 6.5 points.
Fair.
Good thought.
All right, so I'm going with my last straight-up pick. My last straight-up pick is my hard lock for the week. And I was very shocked that neither one of you two took this game. I think this is the easiest game on the slate all weekend. LSU is going to UCLA, going out to Westwood, and they are giving up 3.5 points. Well, DJ, guess what? It's not enough. LSU will unravel the Bruins in Westwood. I think Eddie O has a point to make. He got my man Jake Peets in there. Jake's the ball coach. They're going to get them like LSU. I think LSU is going to make a statement this year. This game reminds me, y'all remember the year like 2 years ago when LSU, everybody's like, oh, it's LSU versus Texas. And then everybody left that game like, oh, shit, LSU's got a squad. Like, I think this is going to be one of those games. And this is what's great about this lock is you watch this spread as the week goes on because it's L.A. and all that money out in L.A. This spread is actually going to go down, I think. Because at UCLA, congratulations, beat Hawaii, okay? And so they're like, oh, we're back. We're back. And so this money is going to start coming in on UCLA, and that line's going to start tickering down. Dude, UCLA, I mean, give them 20 points. It doesn't matter. This game's not even going to be close. If you look at how, we watched that game, obviously, but if you watched it close, I mean, the quarterback's 2 of 7 for 29 yards at halftime. And they come out trying to help some tendencies out. They start trying to force the ball downfield. He's leaving the ball like commentators killed me. They're like, oh, what a great throw. He left that ball 14 yards inside. If there was a safety at all that had any confidence in what he was doing, he could have fair caught it. Like, the receiver made a great job adjusting to the ball. It wasn't a great ball. Like, dude, you got the LSU secondary on there. You're not going to have that kind of room, that luxury. And then if you look at their run game, they were getting big runs off missed tackles and broken tackles. Not going to happen on Saturday. You're going to get fudded very heavily. And so, hey, on top of that, what's the biggest thing with LSU? We've all played them. If you can get them off the field distracted, you got them, right? That's kind of always the deal. They're gone. They're in Houston right now practicing. He's already got them out of Baton Rouge. They're out. They're going to get there on Thursday. He's going to have them locked up. They're going to be ready to play LSU by 1,000. Book it. Hard lock of the week.
I think I think it's a fair pick. I do.
Yep.
The only thing that's got me wary is LSU after last season just has me so off kilter, man. You know what I mean? I agree with you 100%. 20 years in a row, I would have picked LSU in that game. But last year just got me so off kilter. It's just, that's the only thing.
COVID had everybody off kilter.
That's true.
Yeah, weird year.
That's weird.
It's a weird year. Ed O, I'm going to go with what you just said, Tyler. Ed O's got a point. I promise you. He has been gnawing for months here, and they will be ready to go.
Yeah, you will not have
tiger bubbles.
Yeah, the tiger bubbles. That's the thing is you will not see a more team ready to play now. Where they got to execute all that stuff, and everybody's got to plan like all the preseason, all the hype speeches, and all that stuff. That lasts for one play until you get your face. Everybody's got a plan until you get hit in the face. Okay, that goes out. Like all those pregame and getting hype and let's get up. Like I never bought into any of that because you can get as hype as you want to. Like I used to hate. On a side note here, I used to hate. Well, we're not ready to play. Well, who cares? It's not going to matter past the first play because you go if you're down and you're like this in the locker room, when you get hit in the face on play one of two things are happening. You're going to either hit back or you're not. It doesn't have any that. Well, you can be hyped and the same thing happens.
Exactly
that stuff does not affect anything. So, but I will tell you this: they're going to win the award for being the most hyped team come out of the locker room next Saturday because Ed will be like eating coffee grinds, snorting Red Bulls. I mean, he'll be ready to go. So, be excited about that one. All right, What do you got? Your last straight up pick before we get to the money line picks, Eddie. Who you got for your last pick?
Last pick, this will be shocking to another offensive guy by the name of Coach Jimbo Fisher. Texas A&M, -29 against Kent State.
Hey, it's down to
think
20.
Texas-
It's down to 28.5. So somebody believes in Kent State. Since you've been talking, you actually got half a point. Somebody
That's
believes in
fantastic.
Kent State.
Another one that I don't think can be large enough. I think Kent State will have a hard time scoring. I don't care if it's late in the game. If they put their twos in there,
You're right.
A&M's twos are going to be really good, and I think Jimbo will try to get this offense going early and often because it is going to have a new quarterback, and so he's not going to pull back now. I'm just going to tell you right now, he is going to try to get that guy as many reps as he can get to get better for the next game. So
Oh yeah.
I just think that is I don't know. I say no-brainer, but I had a no-brainer last week and didn't do so well. But that's preseason.
It's preseason don't count.
What the heck?
Yeah, you guys keep saying that. But anyway, so I just want to say, Eddie, you are right on. Texas A&M, if we were to steal Tyler's line from him, 28.5, not enough. Not enough, okay? Okay, Texas A&M is a lot better than 28.5 pounds better than Kent State. Texas A&M, they may be one of, if not the most talented team in college football right now. And that's my personal opinion, okay? They have DBs that are 6'1", 190, 200 pounds that can run. They got D linemen that are giants that can run. They got giants at O-line. They got a tight end that is a first-round pick. They have a new quarterback, but let me tell you something. All those quarterbacks are talented, okay? A&M is getting to the way we were at Florida State.
Florida State.
Yes,
Yep.
which is the way that Alabama is, which is it doesn't matter who you lost, okay? There's going to be another guy in there that's just as good as him. The only concern I have is how fast do they get up and when do they decide that they're just going to try to get out of there and keep everybody healthy?
Never.
That's my
Never.
only
He'll put
concern.
the second,
You know
he'll
what I mean?
put the second guy in there, and he's going to try to get him better.
Yeah.
That's what I love about him.
Yep.
He's going to throw the ball. If it's 58-14, he's going to have his other guy in there, and he's going to run his offense. He don't care. He's got to get his number 2 ready.
I agree. I agree with you 100%. I just worry about this thing getting out of hand too early and everybody's saying, hey, let's just get out of here and let's get ready for next week.
I'll take my chances. We'll see.
Yep.
Yep. 20. Somebody believes in Kent State. They bought you a half point there, so you're down to 28.5. So, all right. So here it's time, DJ. You know what time it is? It is time for our money line pick. Okay. So every week we're all going to pick a game that's an underdog by the point spread, and you have to pick the underdog to win straight up. Like throw away the points, bet on the money line, and we'll go from there. So DJ, crank us up. Your money line pick for week number 1.
My money line pick is Stanford over Kansas State. You know, Kansas State is 2.5 point favorites, and I'm shocked because Stanford 4-2 last year. They got everybody back. One of the most veteran teams that they've had out there in a long time. You know what I'm saying? And with COVID, you know, with the super seniors being able to come back and that roster being as big as it is, Kansas State struggled at the end of the year last year. They had a couple. They you know, in the middle of the year, you know, they were decent. They beat Oklahoma. You know, they had a big win there, and they had some other wins and some tight games. And towards the end of the year, they had, I mean, half their team had entered the transfer portal. Everybody had opted out, and it just got ugly. And I don't know that they've recovered from that. And I find it hard to believe that Stanford's not going to win this football game.
Is that your hard lock?
That's my hard lock. Okay,
You heard it there
Stanford
first.
is going to win the game, but with that said, K-State is 2.5 point favorite. I just don't get this one. I don't understand it.
So so the money line is actually plus 115. So if you bet $100 and you take DJ's advice, you will win $115. And that is DJ's hard lock for week number 1. I don't disagree. I really don't disagree with you. Yeah, you got me. I may have a little money line parlay going on after these because we'll go there. All right, so my money line hard lock. No, it's not a hard lock. I've already had my hard lock. But my money line pick for underdogs is I'm taking the South Alabama Jaguars
Jaguars.
at home against Southern Miss. Southern Miss is favored by 2. South Alabama, they didn't win many games last year because that's why Kane's there, but they won this one. I think they got, Major Applewhite came in as the offensive coordinator. They got Kane Womack was the defensive coordinator in Indiana. My man Corey Batoon rejoined him. Corey was at Liberty. I'm talking about ball coach Central. My man Gordon Steele coaching the O-line. I think that from a coaching standpoint and what they're doing offensively, I think South Alabama, arguably, like everybody, and it's South Alabama, it's the Sun Belt and all that stuff. No secondary in America wants to go against those receivers, okay? Jalen Tolbert, I think, is one of the best kept away secrets in college football at receiver. He's one of the best ones. As you would notice from the tampering that went off in the offseason trying to get him to transfer. But unbelievable talent there. He went for over 1,000 yards last year, came back. Jalen Wayne, another one, 6'4", 225. He's got this uncle named Reggie Wayne. He's going to be there. They got guys to get the ball to. Y'all remember this one? I want those. Do you know who the starting quarterback, Eddie, is for the South Alabama Jaguars?
I do not.
Jake Bentley.
From South Carolina.
That's
Nice.
right.
Yeah.
They got him. He's their starting quarterback. Look, they hit the portal hard, and they're a QwikCut client, so we gotta love them, right? So here they are. I take them money line. I'm actually going to be at the game. My man Kane Womack's first game as a head coach. I'll be there Saturday night. Lord willing, I'm still feeling well. Everybody's good by Saturday, but excited to see that. Here's another thing. The reason I'm taking, just so y'all know. So last year was the first season of Hancock Whitney Stadium, which is the on-campus stadium. But they had all the COVID protocols and this and that. The place is going to be packed. Because you got Hattiesburg's like 45 minutes down the road. So you got Southern Miss and South Alabama in that stadium first time. Man, it's going to be awesome. And little known fact, Kane Womack's alma mater, Southern Miss, first game as a head coach. Going with South Alabama Jaguars money line.
I like it.
All right. Eddie, your money line pick for the week. Who we got?
Yeah, I'm going to shock some people probably here, but I've had an opportunity to go and play at Hokie Stadium. Virginia Tech, they are playing a really, really good North Carolina team. And I just think because of COVID, I think because of the small stadiums last year, I think they're going to go into this Hokie Stadium, and it is going to be, it's impressive now. I'm just going to tell you, it's impressive. DJ can attest to this.
It is.
It's and you I mean it's freaking loud. They're passionate about the game. I think Virginia Tech has something to prove this year. They've underachieved, in my opinion, and I think they will be better. And I think they might keep this one. They're getting 5.5. So
they got to win it.
Plus 5.5. We got to win it straight out. So here we go.